Welcome back to Cocktails and Classics. I'm Dylan, and joining me this week, as always, is Cam, Ben, and Zach.
Hi.
And this week, we're doing Dinner in America, a 2020 dramedy film. The reason we did this movie, you may not have heard of it. It did just drop in the UK on Arrow, but I have mentioned it a few times in the podcast, and I actually worked on this movie as a second AC. But before we get into the movie, let's talk about the cocktail. This week's cocktail is a Mexican firing squad. My wife wanted me to maybe put a disclaimer out there that is it an okay title for a cocktail?
Why not?
It toes
That's
the
what-
line.
That's what I said. I was like,
Why
I
is it
don't know.
called that? Is it because of the red color
I would assume so.
and it's tequila?
So it's a discovery of a cocktail writer, historian, and wanderlust, Charles H. Baker Jr. The Mexican Firing Squad is recorded in his 1939 The Gentleman's Companion, Volume 2, being exotic drinking book or around the world with jigger, beaker, and flask. He'd encourage the firing squad at La Cucaracha Bar, a Prohibition-era favorite in Mexico City, on one of his Latin American journeys.
Well, okay. So if it's from is it from Mexico? Did it
Yes.
originate? Okay. Well, if it originated from Mexico,
So that might be like where the name was from. It also read that the firing squad was very popular during the Mexican Revolution as a way of eliminating your enemies.
yep, that's yeah.
So there's that,
Sure,
and there
I'd buy
was
it.
there's
It's been pretty popular in most revolutions.
there's
Unless
a
you're in
Ripley's,
France. Shh.
there's a Ripley's
They
Believe It or
prefer
Not
Big
guy
Knifey
who
Boy.
survived a firing squad.
Wow.
I think he got shot 9 times, and like
Oh yeah, he put out a rap album.
and,
Yeah, he did.
Get
in
Rich
the
or
in
Die
the in the
Trying.
early 2000s, it was a very big hits.
One of them was a finishing shot, though, and like somebody came by and found him still alive like, the next day. I don't remember the guy's name, but he was
And
helping.
then some years
Pancho
later, he
Villa.
recorded Into Club.
Yes,
Weird.
he was big with The Game and G Unit. Yeah,
Ran with the Outsiders, I believe.
Now he owns part of Vitamin Water.
and he's on that one show that's really big on Stars or whatever.
Oh, really?
I think that's what Power, isn't that like
I don't know, man. I only watch movies.
true?
Never even seen a TV show.
I don't have time for TV anymore. I just watch these damn movies.
Don't sound
does
so
that.
happy. Don't sound so happy to watch the movies, Cameron. Jesus Christ.
It's all kidding. It's all jokes.
Mexican Firing Squad is 2 ounces of tequila, 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice, 3/4 of an ounce of grenadine, 5 dashes of Angostura bitters, and then you can also lengthen it with soda water if you choose. If not, just serve it over rocks. And that's what I did. I made one with tequila, one with mezcal because I was trying to get a little fancy. I'm doing jazz hands here. I feel like tequila might be where it's at.
Yeah, the
I
mezcal
s-
might be too smoky for this, right?
It gets a weird. It gets a weird. Maybe I put too many bitters in there too, or maybe that bitters just
The
accentuate
recipe
with the
calls for
mezcal.
5 dashes of bitters, which in my opinion is a lot. I mean, I did the full amount, but
I like it.
Yeah, I think I know where I went wrong. I did mine like a shooter.
ew.
Oh,
What?
Yeah.
This is like
that's
this is like 4 ounces of liquid.
yeah.
Well, somebody mentioned they were going to do a flight of them, and I'm like, oh, okay. I just associated that this must be a shooter. So I poured it into a glass with no ice and knocked it back.
Oh my god.
No, I believe what I said is I'm going to be day drinking these, which I did. That club soda stretches it out. I've had like 4 or 5 of these today. I'm not gonna lie, these might be like up there for me with the Tom Collins is like a summer drink I could have by the pool and just like rail these things back all day.
Rail 'em. Yeah, this is really good. I don't have it with the club soda, but I have it with the aged tequila in it, and it's very smooth, very good. Highly recommend.
Yeah, I think the club soda is good if you plan on drinking several of them. Like if you
Yeah,
plan
yeah.
on drinking them like throughout the day, the club soda just kind of let's be honest, it makes it a little bit weaker.
Makes it last a little longer,
I
probably.
think it'll
yeah,
bring
it
out
makes
the
it-
it'll bring out the bitters as well.
It does. It does taste more. I did try a good sip before adding the club soda and a sip after, and yeah, you do notice the bitters a lot more when you add the club soda in versus when you just drink it right on the rocks. But yeah, I will say, well, this drink's a banger. It's a banger. It's a summer smash. Highly recommend.
It's got all the hits. It's got your sweet, it's got your sour, and it's got tequila, you know? It's gonna go well.
Which I normally don't like tequila. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed this one.
That was our mission. We kind of chose this one because we had mentioned prior, we were like, let's put other liquors in there because we do a lot of gin, we do a lot of bourbon. We were kind of like, let's do something like tequila. And then this drink is Red AF, which is a huge like theme in the movie.
Very awesome
red, white,
color.
and blue. Yes, it is a very awesome color. Yeah, red is a really big color used in the film in the art direction, so we chose that and something that would kind of have a little kick to it. Make one. Check the show notes below. Send us a picture of your Mexican firing squad. the drink. I feel just
Or
get a
an
bunch
actual firing squad.
Just get a
You
bunch of
know?
pictures.
We
of firing
appreciate both.
squads.
Let's bring this podcast back to its roots.
Pretty sure they're supposed to let you like walk away. Like if you survive, like the death penalty, like the electric chair or firing squad. I'm pretty sure you're like allowed to walk free.
I went I went deep album firing squad trivia, looking into like the origins of it, the name and stuff. And I guess a popular thing that they would do is like give people like blanks randomly. So then
Yeah.
like you wouldn't know if you had a bullet and you were going to be like firing the kill shot basically.
Oh yeah, they
like,
did that basically to keep their
disassociate from it.
to keep their consciousness clear. They gave like typically only one or two shooters on the squad had live ammunition.
Yeah. And then like you would be able to tell when you're firing a blank versus when you're firing a real bullet after the fact, like once there's like not as much kick and stuff.
Yeah.
I got him.
Now, welcome back to Firing Squad and Classics.
Here we're just going to talk about gruesome ways humans have found to kill each other over the past couple hundred years.
We're really into the trebuchet, right?
Yes.
We're gonna
Yes.
start with
Love
flame.
trebuchets.
Way better than catapults. Yeah.
Check out Dinner in America. If you're in the UK, it's on Aeroplayer.
If you're in if you're in America, good fucking luck.
Oh shit, we totally forgot. Hello, mates. Welcome to this week's Cocktails and Classics.
Oh my God, why?
Coming to you straight
The
from
Australian.
straight from the UK.
Ah, yes.
Excuse you. I watched this movie in Spain.
Oh, I watched it in London town, mate.
Dinner in America is a 2020 dramedy, like comedy drama, like your Judd Apatow kind of films, Eighth Grade, Book Smart, that sort of thing, where it's like, it's a comedy film, but there's a little heart there, It's the story of an on-the-lam punk rocker and a young woman obsessed with his band who unexpectedly fall in love and go on an epic journey together through America's decaying Midwestern suburbs. It's directed by Adam Raymer. It stars Kyle Gallner, Emily Skeggs, Hannah Marks, Leah Thompson,
Gail the Snail.
Gail the Snail, she is in there. Griffin Glug, Pat Healy, Mary Lynn Ratskub, I think is how you pronounce her name.
It does have a lot of people who are like almost famous in it.
Well, I have a question about this one.
Like,
because
like on the verge of like recognizing them in the street,
there was one name that I saw that was famous, and I'm wondering if it's just a common name. One of the producers, when I looked it up, was listed Ben Stiller.
Yes.
Is it the same Ben Stiller?
Yes, it is Ben Stiller. If you watched the intro, Red Hour was one of the production companies. So Ben Stiller is technically an executive producer on this.
Wow. Does he know?
Yeah, he does, I think. I would hope so
Someone
when it's
quick,
like
call Ben Stiller, let him know.
I would hope
Ben,
so that
you do
like
the thing.
before he puts his name on a movie that they'd be like, "Hey Ben, is it cool if we do this?" Yeah, I don't know if you guys know, like Leah Thompson, she's the mom in Back to the Future. She's the younger
Yeah.
Yep.
mom.
Yep.
I don't think Zach would know that because he hasn't seen Back to the Future.
Who's the
Griffin Gluck.
Gluck. He was in American Vandal, right?
Yes, he was in American
He was-
Vandal.
Wasn't his name also Kevin in that?
I'm not sure. Let me see. His name is Sam.
Sam.
And-
Yeah, I just saw it. I don't know what the hell I was thinking.
Yeah, we were watching this movie, and my wife was like, "Oh, that main actor looks really familiar." Turns out she actually interviewed him once for like a paper she did in undergrad or grad school. She wrote, it was like a paper based on like Mark Twain, and the
And he
main
was
actor
in,
played Huck Finn
Yep.
in 2015. And so I don't know how she did it or whatever, but basically asked if she could interview him, and he was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And his brother as well.
Kyle was also in Red State, which is Kevin Smith's film.
It
We'll
looks
tie,
like
tie it back for Ben.
maybe the biggest movie, at least the one that I recognize that he was in, was American Sniper. But
Who was he?
I don't know.
He was in Veronica Mars. A lot of people recognize him from there. He
I
was
remember
in,
him.
I mean,
I
if you
recognize
look-
him from Smallville.
And if you look at American Sniper IMDb, he's number 2 on the cast list. I don't know what that means, but
and that could be dependent because
Yeah.
if it's
Maybe
by like
appearance or
order of
something.
appearance, yeah.
But he's gonna
Oh,
be in the new
shit.
Scream
Oh,
movie.
no, I see
which
him.
He
There
was
he
in
is.
He was in Wet Hot American Summer too.
It's such a small part in Wet Hot American Summer.
I know,
If you've
but-
seen the show or if you've seen the movie, you know the kid who like his swimming partner or the swimming guy like drowns.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they like drive him out and like throw him out of the car. He plays the kid they throw out of the car.
That's fantastic.
Oh man, he got killed off in one episode of The Walking Dead in the prison.
Wow.
he was on a couple episodes of SVU as well.
Yeah. it
Well,
was a
who isn't?
pretty big part
if you're,
in
if
lot
you're a
of
Hollywood
Mars, I think.
actor, if you're a Hollywood actor, you've been on SVU at some point or another.
Smallville, he was in Smallville a couple of times.
Oh, he was in Jennifer's Body. Top tier movie.
I doubt it.
S tier movie.
So Dinner in America currently sits at a 7.2 out of 10 on IMDb. Doesn't have that many reviews. It did premiere at Sundance 2020. Maybe COVID. Maybe it's just a little too raunchy to really break into America. I feel like people may be a little worried about it.
I don't think I've definitely seen raunchier
Nah.
movies.
I think the language, the use of
Yeah.
the R word, very heavy in this film.
I guess. but
Obviously
it's-
not by like great characters though. Like
Right. They never show that as something you should do.
yeah, the tracksuit guys aren't people who you should look up to.
I would hope not.
I'd hope not. They had sex with a dead kitten. I wouldn't want
Yeah,
to look
that's true.
up to those guys.
They do have like half decent like lines though. Like obviously they're like bullying people and it's not cool, but like oh, if Coach had a bukkake team, you should try it.
God.
Comb catcher. Jesus.
Did you get shit on my tracksuit? Oh, dude, Coach is gonna kill you if you got anything on that tracksuit.
They reminded me of the two hockey players from Letterkenny.
Yeah.
Riley
Yeah.
and Jonesy.
Riley and Jonesy.
They're just
I could see
more
that.
they're like more they're more mean versions of those people. Yeah.
And can like actually back it up because they actually like fight in this movie.
Yeah.
I don't think they ever fight in Letterkenny, do? Or they like avoid it. at
Oh
all
yeah.
No,
No,
they
no.
fight. They have a
No.
lot of fighting montage.
I think
Yeah,
they fought a couple
Riley,
times.
Riley and Jonesy are typically with the boys for a good scrap.
We'll go for a Donnybrook.
All right.
little
I
bit
mean,
of
I've
a
only
Tilly
watched
there,
a few
bud.
seasons. Because I just remember like I think it's like the first episode where they're introduced and they're taking their tarps off, and they're just
Took
like
off your shirt but kept your glasses on. What kind of backward ass pageantry is that?
yeah, just giving them shit. So I'm the only one who's seen this film. I saw it. They had like a little Midwestern premiere for cast and crew in Michigan. What did you guys think on your first viewings of Dinner in America?
I'm not gonna lie, I thought this was gonna be a garbage tier movie.
Same. I thought it was gonna be junk.
Well, it's an indie film, and I feel like it's just like those can be very hit or miss, you know.
Yeah.
But I thought it was actually really good. I really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. The only part that I didn't really enjoy was the beginning. There's a lot of like really quick up close cuts, but I don't know. It's like an interesting introduction into the movie. Looking back on it,
I think it's supposed to be frantic.
A lot of people
yeah, it sets the tone.
A lot of
Gets you in the
people
mood.
like at the like between Sundance and some of the viewings, that is like a huge critique of the film was like, yeah, the first like 20-30 minutes are just really testing your patience. Like the characters aren't nice. Like there's a lot of like quick cutting and like, but later on it kind of like pays off once like Simon and Patty meet and like start to build a relationship. It pays off in the end.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. There were times where Simon felt a little I'm 14 and this is deep, mixed with a little
Oh,
bit
definitely.
Well,
mixed
he's
with
a
a little
punk
bit
rapper,
of
of course.
makes a little
Comes
bit of
with the
edge
territory.
lord, and it was just kind of like, all right, dude, come on now, like.
Yeah, the dude plays like a douchey pyro punk rock version of MF Doom throughout the whole thing. He's definitely not. I couldn't hang out with this guy.
Well, no. He'd also be like starting fires, which you might like, but he might be like starting fires.
Do you
and
like
stuff.
train? Do you like train tracks?
He would be
Felonies
down
we can't
for
talk
that.
about.
His downfall in the movie is that like he doesn't want to sell out because he's like, I don't want to play for the Alliance, even though what is David Yao's character's name? Monty? No, Monty's the guy that introduces the music to him. What is the guy's name? The like
it's
music
like
promoter.
Eddie something.
Eddie Sorvino, yeah. He's like ready for them to play the tour. He's gonna buy their like demos and stuff to release them, but Simon's like morals are like, I can't sell out. I can't play what is it, eyeliner punk in front of a sea of cell phones.
Simon's morals. What a great way to start. A phrase.
Morals, quote unquote morals.
yeah.
His
I
I,
can't
think
do
it's
that.
an artistic or creative morals,
But
but
I-
like
But I can totally sell drugs and start fires, because that's different.
Well, that's badass.
yeah,
Playing for 14-year-old girls is not badass.
I feel like the drug like plot line could be cut from the film because it's
Yeah,
like what
it
is that? What does
seems-
that add? I
Well, I'm
like
not gonna lie. Also, you see him sell to like one person or two people, and that's it. And then he gives the weed to Kevin.
I'll give you a little insider information here. So from the scene in the bathroom to the scene where he's on the street and he sees the cop, there's a whole day of shooting that we did on the film.
Oh my god.
That was cut from the movie. There's a scene in a hotel room with two characters who I think are on the credits or they're uncredited on IMDb or something. And then they go to Harpo's, which is like a venue bar in Detroit. And we filmed like a whole thing there. There's like a whole dance number with like where they're on drugs and there's like snorri cam and shit. Got cut. And I listened to like the commentary and the director's like, yeah, it's just pacing issues. It's like it's a bit much. So you can see where like Simon's like looking down in his hands, and that's like where the scene would have caught because he lost all this money in the previous scene from like selling the drugs and stuff.
Gotcha.
I'm about positive that this movie takes place in my hometown. I'm like 90% positive.
So a lot of it took place, or at least was shot in Southfield. There was the scene where Simon and Patty meet, like where the pet store is Pontiac. It's like a back alley off the main street of Pontiac.
The high school that, like the football field and then like the equipment area looked just like my high school. The burger shop looked just like this place I grew up down the street from, and I guess in a larger sense I did. But the guy, the first woman that Simon meets
Yeah,
goes home.
Bobber.
Her older brother
Yeah,
had on like a Cougars like football jersey, clearly, or hoodie, clearly played football. That was my high school mascot. The suburbs look just like an area of Taylor. I'm convinced this movie takes place in Taylor, Michigan.
if I had this as a kid, this would be like on replay all the time. Like if when I was growing up, I feel like I would have fucking loved this movie. Not that I didn't love it now, but like this just like feels like describing it to people, I'm like, it's kind of like Napoleon Dynamite, but very nihilistic. I feel like you just kind of have to like let it go. Like you have to let yourself go going into it because you're just signing up for like. It's very crass. It's a crass movie.
It's faster than Napoleon Dynamite, though. Like, I'm not a massive fan of Napoleon Dynamite because I feel like it drags a ton, and that's part of what they're going for. That's part of the comedy. I don't think this movie does that.
I think it has those points though. Like when Simon and Patty first meet, like the whole intro to the movie was like super quick cut, but then once they meet, it's like slows down a little bit. Yeah, you were in my class. Huh? Yeah, the teacher threw a stapler at you. Okay, yeah. It's like super
Yeah,
like
maybe a little bit.
it's like super like slow and back and forth there. Like it kind of like speeds up in scenes and slows down in scenes and speeds up, slows down. Which I maybe that was on purpose. Maybe that was like the pacing for a certain joke, Because like the freaking dinner scene, there's jokes throughout, but really it is like a 7 or 8 minute setup for a fucking like the
And
adoption.
God bless
reveal.
Kevin, who's adopted. Wait,
Yeah.
what?
That was pretty funny though.
Like it's like there's bits throughout where he's like, yeah, we've been in Tanzania. This cooking's delicious. If you had to live off a diet of ugali and sweet potatoes, you would appreciate your mother's cooking. What's ugali? Don't worry about it. It's like all of this like
always
there's like
wanted to
humorous
do-
bits.
I've always wanted to do a mission. I'd love to sign you up. What? I meant like, later on
Retired.
when I'm retired, Oh, okay.
Oh my god, that scene was like so funny to film. Just like all the dinners, the bit where she's like eating the taco shells. She's like, "Has anyone tried their shells? They're edible." Like that was like improv. Just everyone was just like, "What the fuck?" Another scene that really sticks out from my memory is at the end of the movie when he's in prison, and it doesn't. It was so funny and took so long to film because we were like cracking up. But it's when Simon is like reading the letter to Patty, and he's in prison and he's like sitting on the top bunk and the guy's like jerking off and like getting worked up.
Punching him.
That was so funny filming because the dude is just going ham on the bed. But it's like
Well, going ham on the bed and elsewhere too.
yes,
Yeah.
and it's like a 2-second bit in the movie, but it took
That was
so
funny.
long to
Yeah.
film. He just gets worked up over the lady on Channel 5 News.
This movie glorifies the dick pic, which I appreciate.
It's a consensual dick pic though.
What other kind is there?
The unsolicited
The
kind
95%
that no
of
one
the other
wants.
time.
You guys never got one of those before, though, right?
From you?
What?
Yes. It's funny when Simon realizes that like Patty's the one like sending the photos, and he's like, "Where's your fucking bathroom?"
It's like he's gonna go into a full-on panic attack.
Leaves through the window.
Bless Patty's heart. She's like, "Are you doing a number 2 in there? I can get you some more toilet tissue from the closet."
When
Leaves
he
him
comes
the stack.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah, when he comes back and there's a pyramid of it outside the door.
man.
I didn't even notice that. That's funny.
Patty's such a sweetheart.
What's a pyro again?
What's cumin? Well, they're not doing that tonight.
Worst acting performance,
Worst?
hands down. The
What?
guy, the manager at the pet store.
Really, Mr.
Hands
Hanley?
down.
He was only in the movie for like 30 seconds.
The guy who, when they're having the band conversation, the drummer, who like doesn't speak at all because he's on Quaaludes.
Yeah.
Performance leaves a lot to be desired. I mean, he doesn't
I
speak
mean, he
at
didn't
all.
say
He's just
anything.
kinda, yeah.
And he's on Quaaludes, so.
I would say I don't know enough about what dudes on Quaaludes act like, but he seemed like he was pretty high off his ass. So
Yeah, all of my Quaaludes.
Have you ever seen
experience
Wolf of
comes
Wall
from
Street?
Yeah, Wolf of Wall Street. But they could like talk in Wolf of Wall Street, couldn't they?
No,
Well, they thought they could.
by the end of by when he was like super high on Quaaludes in Wolf of Wall Street, he was like
Yeah, where he doesn't have his legs.
drooling,
Okay.
and he like
Maybe he
couldn't
just took
speak.
He just took a lot of Quaaludes, I guess.
He did take a lot of Quaaludes.
I'm about to call the cops. You're always about to call the cops.
Yeah, what is up with Simon could not function normally in a restaurant at all. This whole movie. He's got to fight with somebody in the restaurant.
Because he's always doing weird shit in restaurants.
he is always doing weird shit in restaurants.
Like he's either fighting or he's like
Yelling
making
at
out
somebody.
with his girlfriend, or
Yeah.
he's
What are
always
you
doing
looking
some
at?
weird shit in restaurants.
What are you looking at? What are you looking at? You can fuck off. I'm looking at you. You're making a scene. I'm just trying to eat my fucking meal.
Get back to your chicken tender basket.
Go back to your shrimp basket, lady.
Yeah, his shrimp basket.
Oh my god, I didn't know this until I like was listening to the commentary. I wasn't there for it, but so the scene after he gets the letter, and he goes on the bus, and the old lady sits next to him, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Really?" That old lady, they just like picked her up at like a YMCA, She'd always wanted to be in a movie or something, and they would like talk to her. I guess she must have come over and been like, "Oh, what are you guys doing?" And and so she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get my hair done, and I'll come back," because she was like getting her hair done for whatever reason, and she came back, and then they were like, "Put her in the movie," and that's like
funny.
that's her bit. And so some lady in Michigan just got her wish, wanted to be in a movie.
She was pretty
Hilarious.
good.
They had
Perfect
the whole
straight face.
she puts in the candy in her mouth. It's so funny.
I thought one of the funniest lines in this movie came from the kid outside the drug dealer's house. And he's like, are you here to buy drugs? And he just knocks on the door, and the kid just goes, white boy, straight to business.
I love I feel like it's more of the like Napoleon Dynamite bits, but when they're at the sandwich shop, Jimbo's or whatever, and they're like ordering the Hawaiians, and they're just like, what kind of sauce comes on there? It's like a honey glaze. This is like the stupidest like line, but that one cracks me up.
I like the fact I'm looking at IMDb, and that the character name in the movie is just called Honey Glaze. That poor man has that on his IMDb page for life. Just Honey Glaze. You poor bastard.
You know we love saving the turts. You know Cam hates fucking paper straws.
Paper straws song. I will say that paper straw technology has improved since I last shat on paper straws. I have used a couple since I've been able to go out more recently due to being vaccinated, and
That's what they were doing the whole time while we were inside. They were just inventing better paper straws.
I have seen also not paper straws, but it seems like they're compostable plastic straws or something. Like
You're talking about the
like,
ones
they
that
feel
are made out of
different.
like agave or whatever.
I have no idea what the composition of these straws are. I'm just, but they are different.
I'm not
than
a straw
normal ones you
expert.
see. But you're the expert, Dylan.
But I do know a good glass straw when I see one, you know?
Yes. I will say for being at home and where you know, maybe you like straws in your fruity margaritas, or you like straws to mix with your, you know, old fashions or whatever. You know, having these straws around the home is really nice. No, not constantly like throwing things away, or you don't have to keep buying straws all the time. Like you just buy a couple and then you're good.
And if you want cocktail picks or muddlers, they have that too. There's many colors. He's getting into like designs. So like the pride flag, he puts it on like the side of the straw. He's got hearts. He's got critters. It's like you get a piece of art along with a straw. Little multi-use.
Oh yeah, he has critter straws, which have see a dolphin, a salamander. That salamander looks intricate. That is impressive.
Grab some glass straws from Surfside Sips. Use promo code cocktails and classics spelled out for 20% off. We get a little kickback from that, and you get to save some money on some glass straws, and they should last you a long time. Dishwasher safe. They're pretty sturdy. Just don't drop them on the floor like me, like a big idiot. You have to buy more.
Before he meets Patty, I was just kind of like, when does this movie take place? Because you read the thing, and it's like a guy and this girl meets or travels with her favorite punk rock singer, and it's just like, when do we meet this girl? One.
When do we meet the punk rock singer?
And two, yeah, when do we get rid of this douchey dude and meet the actual like punk rock singer? Because this guy's just kind of a fucking asshole.
It takes I think I timed it. It's like 25 minutes or something before Simon and Patty even meet.
Yeah, it's the first. Well, and that's the thing is, I'm just like, okay, they're going around, you know, whatever. I'm not gonna lie, I was expecting a lot more food in this movie than what we saw.
He had to go to
With the
prison to
title.
get a decent dinner in America, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, but hang on. Because that first home, this is something I wanted to bring up. They have like an entire Thanksgiving dinner laid out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like a perfectly
Yeah.
brown turkey.
She says Sunday dinner. Mom goes to the nines.
Him trying to sleep with the mom or the mom trying to sleep with him.
And then she tries to go to the 69s. Ayo!
That
She's
was
telling
hilarious.
stories, Bill. It's the sauce talking.
And then she accuses him of doing stuff he didn't do.
That
what
was
a
the when I talked about doing like the plate glass windows and stuff. That was the scene.
Oh,
It
yeah.
took for a couple attempts to break that with that chair, which is kind of surprising when
Yeah,
you
he
think
made it
of,
look so
like-
easy. I was like, dang, he really broke that window with that wooden chair.
Yeah, I think we ended up having to like crack it a little bit with like a nail or something, or then they put one in the like foot of the stool for when he did it. Because
All
I
right,
think
you
I
got
have
one
videos.
chance at this.
I think I
A
had
lot of-
videos of him hitting it and it like bouncing off.
I've heard of like a lot of movies though where it's like it's not as easy as they try to make it seem. Like a lot of like real life survival things always say if you try to break something with a chair, like especially like an office chair, you should take like the wheels off so it's at the like where it comes to a point usually that sits in, because it's much easier to break it at a finer point than trying to spread the weight around. I think it was the same thing like with Die Hard, where like he shoots the glass. Like they were like, yeah, that would never. You'd have to shoot like the same spot to get enough of a fracture for him to
To
get
actually
through.
go through it.
Yeah,
I do have a video of it.
Just bounces off the glass back into the room. Very anticlimactic for sure.
You can't see it from where I am, but like he just looked back and was like,
he looks so dejected from like the little bit you can see. He looks so dejected. Like, oh, are you? We're gonna have to fix this, right, guys? We're not keeping this. But to be honest, I thought it was going to lead more so to like him being in a rehab facility or something like that, and then just immediately swerved to like drug trial and him needing money, which I was like, okay. But then it just tries. I don't know. His character arc is like, I need money to do this thing that I love and I want to do. It's like, hey, here's this opportunity to get money. Fuck you, man. I don't want your fucking money. And it's like, wait a minute. What is it you want? What is it you want, man? Quit trying to be fucking deep and hip and edgy and cool. Just fucking sell out like the rest of us. Get over yourself.
Simon feels like his character like that, like, oh, you're selling, like he's like every fan for every band ever. Cause like, you know, when like your favorite band is like gonna do something new, you'll have those people who are like, this band cannot change. I want what their first album was, and that's it. If they change their sound at all, they're sellouts, and they're just going for money. And it's like, people can change. Like, you can chase a check, dude. I don't blame you at all, man. Simon, just play for
Plenty
the
of
Alliance.
people do it.
Well, also, even so, like artistically, people do change anyway. Doesn't necessarily mean they're
Oh,
selling
look
out.
at look at Kid Rock. What genre hasn't he touched?
I was gonna say like Childish Gambino, who went
Yeah,
from
I
like
wouldn't,
rap
use,
to
I
like
wouldn't hold
R&B.
Kid Rock as an example of anything.
I just wanted to see if I brought up Kid Rock, what the response was gonna be.
Ew.
I immediately was like, I know it's gonna really rile him up. And the minute I said Kid Rock, Cameron's face just like shrunk into like, I fucking hate this.
Cameron went white as a ghost and then red as the devil so quickly.
Fuck
It
Kid
was,
Rock, dude.
it was so good. It was so worth
God.
it. Just to see Cameron just be like, and they get so mad. Like, I can't fucking believe you just brought Kid Rock into this fucking podcast.
Next, we're gonna talk about Ted Nugent. What up?
The Nuge.
Ted Nugent shitting his pants.
And getting COVID after calling in the line.
It do be like that.
That is Simon's downfall, because like he doesn't do that show, and then the guy fucking turns him in on the Crime Stopper shit. You know?
I mean, it was gonna happen at some point in time.
Yeah.
Not saying they should have done it, but it was gonna happen at some point.
Yeah. For as much as they were like, we only know him as John Q. Like they had his like crash pads like staked
Right.
out. They were like, they noticed him in the streets. It's like, it's only a matter of time. The song that Patty sings is like the catchiest shit.
Yeah, I thought that was good.
Yeah.
I was like, that's legitimately good. I was like, yeah, we were like, when we watched it, we were like, man, it's gonna be so awkward if she's a bad singer.
That would be so.
Yeah.
100%
I'm not
I
gonna lie.
thought too.
He
I
made
was
this
like,
really
oh,
good
God.
music, and then it's like, all right, you sing your song, but he's never heard her sing. So what if she's just like fucking terrible?
She does
I kind
say
of thought that was a comedic point coming up. Like, oh, she's about to fucking blow.
she does say I'm more of a singer when she like sucks on the drums. He's like, you blow. She's like, I'm more of a singer. But
Yeah,
I mean,
Right, but what if her singing is also
yes,
not good?
but what if she also just thinks she's more of a singer?
I feel like it would have been a much different movie at that point, but because it's like a heartfelt moment.
Welcome to Dinner for Schmucks 2.
Oh no. This just takes a whole darker timeline.
Oh God.
Steve Carell walks in.
Oh man. No, I thought the main actor though was really good, especially during that scene where she's singing and he's like tearing up, you know, like while she's singing. I don't know. I just thought that scene was like really good. Like, I thought throughout the movie his acting was really good, but in that scene in particular, it was very good.
Going back to your question, Dylan, about the music, I like the band music and the punk music in that. Sometimes the like score was just a little, for me, overpowering.
Yeah.
Like it could have been reeled in just a little bit for something that was so supposed to be like suburban and everything like that. Like a lot of times, like it was just very intense, and I was
It's
I feel like
industrial, like
yeah, industrial like synth pop, and it was like we could maybe change this a little bit or reel it in slightly.
it's an interesting choice with like this movie being like a punk band. Like it's a very punk rock movie, but like it doesn't like scream punk rock to me. I don't hate it because I don't mind that like kind of like industrial like noise stuff, but it is an interesting choice.
I just think some of the times like that like he's just like walking around doing like his day-to-day type shit. It's just like this is way too intense for like nothing that's really going on. Like he's just walking. Like he's just walking to the next place. It's like
He's just like an
there's-
intense dude though. Like
oh yeah. I mean that's true. I just feel like it felt more like yeah, I think you phrased it well. More industrial than like punk or angst.
yeah, the so the dude that's on Quaaludes, him, and then if you pay attention at the punk rock show, two dudes with Disco Assault shirts on either side of Emily. Those guys are Disco Assault, which is like a punk band, I guess, from Detroit, and they wrote like the music, the band music for like PSYOPs, and they worked with like Kyle and I think Adam, the director and writer. I think he wrote all the words. Same with like Emily's song, but Emily and Kyle both performed like the music for their characters, which was pretty interesting. Reminds
That
me of
sounds good.
like
I always like when actors do that. I hate when it's faked. Like
Yeah.
There's a couple movies that there are movies that I really enjoy that like when you realize they're just singing over someone else kind of diminishes a little bit.
yeah, it reminds me of like Scott Pilgrim because I think Scott Pilgrim. I think Beck helped like write the music, but I do think like everyone is performing like they took time before they shot that movie to like everyone to learn the instruments. So like, and I think Michael Cera knew bass before.
I don't know if any of you guys have seen That Thing You Do. It's the movie Tom Hanks made. It's about like a one-hit wonder band in the 1960s. But basically they cast the band, and then instead of like having them start like learning the script and everything, they basically like had them start learning instruments and learning the music, and basically made them like perform every like, oh yeah, we've got someone coming to check on like how the thing's going. Guys, get ready. We're going to perform one of the songs for the whatever, this producer or this studio executive. And it was like by the time they actually got to filming, like they all knew how to play everything on their own. So there was never like all of the shots that you see of like the close-ups of them playing is still them playing. It's like that's cool. That's so much better than like the movies where it's like, oh yeah, we just, played this recording of Johnny and the Shim Sham Band, and
Yes.
now
Johnny
we're
and the
gonna
Shim
have
Sham Band.
now we're gonna have Mark Wahlberg stand on stage and mouth the words.
Good old Shim Sham Band.
Name another profession where you just have the time to devote to like the actors who like lose 40 pounds for a role, or like training yourself to like play drums for like 4 songs in a movie. Like they get paid lucrative amounts, but it's like what a crazy profession to like Basically,
Yeah.
just learn the job at like before you.
Right. It's like the whole plot of that movie. I don't remember what it's called, but they need to drill on space or in space or something like that.
Armageddon.
Yes. Instead of training an astronaut to drill, they train a
Train a bunch
easier.
of
They
oil
train a
rig
drill
guys to be
technician or whatever to be an
astronauts
astronaut.
because it's
They
easier.
cover that. It's easier. It's faster.
Somehow, it's easier. Tell me which career profession is more selective, being a drill person or being an astronaut?
Being a guy working on an oil rig.
Yeah. Whatever the fucking profession is called. One of them is more exclusive, and it's the one that involves leaving this planet.
No,
I found a,
no.
uh,
All you need
ex-pilots.
is the nerd. All you need is the nerds to get you into space,
My
and that's
God.
when the real work begins.
Not
don't wanna
not like
close
not
my
puking your guts out when
eyes.
trying to get out of the atmosphere.
Don't want to fall
Hey, they
asleep
want to
'cause
send
I
just
miss
like
you,
you and
babe.
me to fucking Mars before they send anyone else. So it's not too far fetched. I've seen this movie. These mofos haven't. They're gonna give you a fresh rating. They're gonna say, "Should you watch Dinner in America? Should it be in the U.S. streaming?" I don't know if they have the expertise to tell you that. We just have a mildly listened to every once in a while podcast. We're not big budget distributors, but what did you guys think of DIA?
Dinner in America. So I went into this movie with no expectations, thinking I might like it, and I might also really, really hate it, because I don't know. I'm not usually a fan of like indie movies, honestly. Just usually not my thing. But this one was really good. I really liked it. It had a lot of like almost famous actors in it, like people that you're like, hey, I think I've seen that person somewhere before, which in my opinion kind of enhanced it. It was cool that there weren't. I mean, there was like one or two really recognizable characters in there for me, but otherwise it wasn't. And the two main leads, especially, I thought were really good in their roles. Like they had pretty good on-screen chemistry, and just the way that they played their roles, very good. It's hard not to picture the main actor as like, that person. And I watched it with my wife, and she said that's crazy because in the movie where he plays Huck Finn, he's totally different character, like so radically different. And so for those reasons, I'm actually going to give it an 8 out of 10. Thought it was good. I would recommend it. It's hard because I'd recommend you watch it, but like how?
Yeah.
So like I'd recommend you watch it if/when it comes into United States distribution for sure. But
Or if you're one of our listeners in the UK,
yes,
there,
if you're in Europe, you can watch it. But
I was gonna say
on Arrow streaming or something.
Arrow, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Dinner in America has received a higher rating than Citizen Kane.
Oh, from me, what did I rate Citizen Kane?
A 7.
You know what? I think that's fair. I definitely enjoyed this movie more than Citizen Kane.
And that's what it's about, right?
I mean, on some level,
I would
mean,
probably
there's
watch
It's
this
hard because
before I
there's
watch
some level of
Citizen Kane.
there's some level of objectivity versus some level of
Nah,
like,
dog. This podcast
what
is
you
all
liked.
about subjectivity. It's the whole point. It's your
I
rating.
thought.
It's
I
your
thought
rating.
this
It's
was
not what you think IMDb should give it. It's what you
I mean, that's
think.
true. Yeah, that's true. I just like I said, I thought it was a good movie. I the first couple minutes might have been. I was like, what is this movie? But once it got into the groove and you were in it, it was really good. So I stand by it.
I will say that I also did enjoy the movie quite a bit. I see the comparison to Napoleon Dynamite, but I think this movie's better. I like the edgy punk rock lead, and then kind of the aloof, not punk rock second lead, and then they come together. The movie's got a lot of very funny, sometimes dry, sometimes not parts, and I don't know. I just like the counterculture vibe that they injected into Napoleon Dynamite. I really wish that it was available for distribution in the U.S. because I mean, if this thing was on Netflix, Hulu, whatever, I would definitely watch it again. Some of the side parts I thought weren't great, especially the pet shop manager. Dude wasn't awesome. The woman on the bus was amazing. the old lady on the bus knocked it out of the park. I'm going to give the movie a 6 out of 10. I did really enjoy it. I think people should watch it. Is it an all-time classic? Probably not, but it's definitely an enjoyable movie.
So what would you give Napoleon Dynamite out of 10?
Like a 3.
Wow. I haven't
Napoleon
seen it in a
Dynamite,
long time, but wow, that's surprising.
I don't.
Napoleon Dynamite, you have to like
I think that's the issue.
really, really enjoy dryness to the point where like after it happens 3 or 4 times, you can still be laughing.
I also think like
Napoleon Dynamite is so divisive though too. Like,
well, I do think too, like, it was just so huge. Like, to give it credit, it's quotable. But also, like, growing up, everyone fucking quoted that movie. So you probably think of the parts that everyone talks about. And, like, if you were to go back and watch the whole movie, you'd probably be like, oh, God, some of these parts
Throw
are
a
just,
football over the mountains.
just not
Uncle
good at all.
Rico!
it's still good. I saw it not too long ago, but
Still
it's
holds
like
up.
it's not for everyone though. Like I remember, like my parents fucking hated that movie, and I was like,
Yeah.
I
same.
watched like after I saw it, like I bought the DVD and like had it and would like try to play it, and they'd be like, "Come on," like I'm like, "Dude, this is peak humor."
I remember my dad renting it from Blockbuster and being fucking pissed.
I want my dollar back, Blockbuster.
It's like, this was terrible. It wasn't even funny. Like, I mean, it wasn't that bad.
This movie was interesting for me. There were times I really enjoyed it and times that like like I said, I thought the actor who played Simon did a fantastic job. Like he was very believable. I just thought Simon's character himself was just super like at times it was like they tried to make him too edgy versus just kind of like letting that come through the acting. It was like some of the things were just like, okay, we get it. You could have just let that be portrayed via the character or the acting in the movie versus like some of the outright stuff that is being going on. You know, language in that, you know, if that's something that you're going to be upset about, like that, heads up.
The movie's edgy.
There are some R words and also a hard R word. So just keep that in mind. I also gave it a 6 out of 10. If it's, I do think a good kind of comparison would be like, it's an edgy rom-com.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very punk rom-com. The song that Patty and Simon write, it's a hit, man.
If they release a vinyl for this,
they
I would buy
could
the
release. Well, the thing is like I feel like if they announced releases for this movie in the U.S. and they gave that song like radio play, this movie would be a fucking smash. People would be
a
like,
TikTok trending song.
yeah, 100%. Like this movie would be even if it didn't do super well like commercially, cult wise, people would love that song and it would be a huge thing.
Maybe we start trending it on our TikTok page, channel,
But
profile, whatever it's called.
Oh no!
Yeah,
We've
it was-
aged ourselves.
but it was definitely like it was cool to do kind of an indie film and something that, you know, other people really haven't had a chance to see. So for us to kind of be on the cutting edge, and like I said, it was cool to watch through and see Dylan's name pop up. That was awesome. I've, you know, got to be like, oh my God, I know him.
I know that guy.
I know him. Yeah, I gave it a 6 out of 10. If it's something, you know, you've listened to and you think it's up your alley, check it out. I'd say give it a watch. If nonetheless, give it a watch for that second AC.
Hey. So I saw this at the premiere, and I really liked it. Like I said earlier, this is like a movie growing up Dylan would love. And I gave it an 8 out of 10. Just because it, like you said, it's like an edgy, like, rom-com. I get very, like, Heathers, Napoleon Dynamite, like, those sort of movie vibes from it. And like you said, it'd be culty. I think maybe that's probably the destiny of this film, is that it might get released in America and becomes like a cult classic, like Napoleon Dynamite and those. I think the acting is really good. Really makes the film what it is. I think if you had somebody who didn't really embody the role as much, I think it might fall apart. That like charisma and just dedication to the character, I think, really elevates it above kind of what it is in a sense, because you can listen to some of the dialogue and some of the quotes and just kind of be like, wow, that this went to Sundance. But for as much crass and raunchiness that is there, I think it does have some heart. I think I'm going to leave it at an 8 out of 10. I think it's solid. It's the first thing I worked on that was actually good. I recommend checking it out. But hopefully it comes out in America and we can actually have some dinner in America, you know?
Yeah, hopefully.
Check it out on Arrow if you are that dedicated to watching it, if you're not in the region that is there.
Go ahead and take a trip, you know.
Yeah.
Quarantine's about over.
Buy a plane
Do some
ticket.
traveling, whether physically or remotely. Do some traveling to the UK and watch Dinner in America.
If you enjoy this, don't forget to rate and subscribe. Share us with your friends. Check out Dinner in America. And as always, watch responsibly.